Andrew, morning after the crash during the qualification yesterday. First of all, how is Matty doing?
Well, Matt's doing reasonable. For what he's kind of gone through, big crash doing about 40 miles an hour. He's got the usual cycling burns, which are extremely painful. Anyone who cycles knows how that feels. Big impact, so when you're doing that speed and then hitting the banking, it's kind of like a sudden thud to hit that banking. So he was fully checked out, full CT scans done, checking spine, head injuries and everything else. So absolutely top class facilities to get that done. But he's doing reasonably well.
And the CT scans came back and no serious injury?
No serious injuries, no breakages, internal organs are all good. So we'll just keep monitoring him now day by day and make sure that he is good to go and hopefully be still able to ride the road race on Sunday.
So I saw when the crash happened, obviously going so fast, going on the wood, it looked to be one of his shoulders, all of the material on the jersey had come off. So was it the impact on the shoulder that was a major concern, or?
Major concern was really his head and neck. So he was feeling that he had hit his head quite hard. So that was the initial concern. Like say that the burns and the abrasions, that kind of comes with the territory really. So that's to be expected. He has got a lot of them. Shoulders quite big, hip all the way down his leg. So yeah, that it is extremely painful. He certainly didn't sleep well last night. So he's got a few days for that to heal up a little bit better anyway.
Could you sort of talk us through events? We saw him get carried off on a stretcher, then where was he taken to in London?
Royal London Hospital. So absolutely first class treatment, got straight in, looked after immediately. Like I say, taken straight in for CT scans, so there was no risk whatsoever. So absolute top class facilities and just amazing staff really.
Yeah, you just touched on it. Unfortunately, a couple of spectators were involved in the aftermath as well, but everyone on site seemed to handle it really well, and thankfully no one was too seriously injured. From
what I hear, I haven't really heard how the spectators are, so we certainly hope that all the spectators are okay. We've seen Matt Walls, obviously, so he stayed in the same hotel. Similar injuries to Matt, so they're both kind of having a laugh and a joke about the whole thing now. Now that we know everybody is okay, I think one of the Canadian riders ended up with a broken collarbone. But
was that Derek G?
Yes, it will be him actually. Yeah. So with that many riders crashing, to just have one rider with a broken collarbone, that's not too bad. Not nice to have a broken collarbone for sure, but considering everything that happened, and they've walked away fairly lightly.
Yeah. Well, a couple of sports journalists are in there and have covered track cycling for a while. They sort of described it as one of the worst crashes they'd seen at a track velodrome. So, very obviously horrific crash, but not something you'll see day to day.
No, really unusual. In a bunch race, there's always crashes. It's part of cycling. You might see 2 or 3 riders crash, but to see that many riders come down, it's really unusual, horrific. Like one of the biggest crashes I've ever seen. I've certainly never seen a rider go into the spectators.
No, and the most important thing is that Matthew's in a good condition, and thankfully CT scans came back and no serious injuries. In the race itself, he looked to be riding good. I think 4 laps to go, it looked to be him who was making the charge at the front and was ready to really take it to the back.
Yeah, everything's been going great. Like all week down here, the training sessions. Plan going into the race, so we both spoke about it. Felt really comfortable even after the crash. He said he felt super comfortable in that heat. So really, the job was done. It was on the last lap. No problem getting through the qualifying heats, and certainly there was a realistic chance over these, yesterday and today for medal potential. We both think. I mean, you should never say it, but we definitely think he was on for a gold medal yesterday. So, Matt in particular, absolutely gutted that that's happened, really.
Yeah, he looked to be riding so well, and see that chance for the gold medal at the scratch race, and would have been the points race today, so unfortunately had to pull out. That could have been another chance to see Team Isle of Man on the medal stable.
Yeah. Biggest opportunity was really the scratch race. Points race is a little bit more of a lottery, and certainly the team aspect comes into it a lot more in the points race. But yeah, out of those 2 days, that's it just is. It is. These things happen. It's part of the sport. Unfortunately, the Commonwealth Games only come around once every 4 years, so that's his track program out the window. But yeah, you can't do anything about it. You just got to move on to the next one.